All right, we are recording. So
wait, should we turn the backgrounds off?
Yeah.
Whenever we start talking about the movie, or right?
Like, that's what we did last time.
Oh, I can't have it for the intro?
wait, am I introing? Why am I introing? What am I introing?
Because you always, hey, what's up? It's the fucking, what are we, throwing fits, whatever.
Cinephile.
Oh, wait.
I don't say this. Huh?
No, never mind.
This is bad. This is really bad.
Fellow cinephiles, I don't say this every week, but I especially mean it. This for real. We are the pharaohs of Facebook, the fucking zillionaires of Zuckerbergs. I don't know, the grand heifas of Harvard. Lawrence.
Are you going off the dome right now?
Yeah.
That's not bad. I honestly thought that when we prompted you wouldn't have anything, but that was pretty good.
I mean, it's like the sultans of cinema, the fuckboys of flicks.
There's like it is a little bit Mad Libby, I guess. I've noticed that like Baron comes up a lot.
What I do is I go to thesaurus.
What do you do?
Thesaurus.com/ruler.
Yeah. is ruler is the source noun though. That's where everything comes from.
Yeah. So there's like monarch, countess, pasha, sultana, tycoon, all that shit.
Pasha is always nice. That's always a little out of left field. That's a good one for sure.
Well, I always associate with the trash bridge and tunnel club in Hell's Kitchen. So, which I don't know.
I wonder how are they doing during coronavirus?
They're still thriving. They still are drawing a crowd. No, I don't know.
I was gonna say, do you think those kind of people practice social distancing? Also, I'm about to sound racist. I feel like so. Let's probably
those kinds of people.
I don't know the crowd. It could actually. I'm expecting a cornucopia, just like the melting pot that is New York. Anyway, moving on.
It's all white trash.
Oh, okay. So we can be mean to them because they're poor.
No, because they're white.
Oh, right. Got it. So it's not. It was never racist to begin with.
Right. It's classist.
It was. Yeah, it was classist. It was ignorant, and it was tasteless. Much like Throwing Fits, the only podcast that matters. How's everybody feeling?
For real.
Yeah. This is our second for real. I'm assuming the first one went well. I had like the best time, which really is all that I care about personally.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was really fun.
We were all fiending to like make this happen.
These are like de facto boys only, right?
Well, in my mind, we should stick to this being for real because we're marketing this as like us talking about social networks. So like
marketed.
It's only banter. Yeah,
it's
our main messaging.
Guys, it's for real.
Yeah, is everyone aligned on the messaging, the client-facing messaging?
I'll grab the comms framework later on. Don't worry about it.
I think to James's point, I think that he rightly sometimes gets nervous that, God forbid, break in case of emergency, we got to do a boys only. It's like, what are we going to talk about? And I try to tell him that banter is the fuel that is an unlimited resource for this podcast, personally.
Yeah, but quarantine, there's like not really much going on, right? So like every week or so, I feel like there's enough banter, but like, I don't know.
Well, I don't know when this is coming out, so I don't really even know what will be like top of mind in our world. But we had I feel like a great week. Chuck did another awesome live. I want to shout him out publicly. He was getting a lot of love in the group. He's getting a lot of love in the group chat. Just want to take this to not a public forum because like just for the pay people, the pay pigs that already are going to like us regardless.
Our best friends.
But yeah, our best friends. Chuck, how did that? You felt good? The big catch was a big look, bro. Those were numbers. You put numbers on the board.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun as the week before, and I'm excited to see this if it continues. Look forward to everyone tapping in on a week.
Is the bar already too high? Are you now just destined to fail?
I'm pretty nervous. Yeah, because it's like Dro. Like, who's gonna top that? Like,
that was what did we say? That was a Hall of Fame. That was a Hall of Fame tap-in, bro. Top 5 that are alive.
They still 2020. I mean, Chuck, are you like trying to evolve this concept or just stick to your guns and you know what works, right? It's
Well, we're
tunes, drinks, vibes.
yeah. I mean, we're only 2 weeks, two times in, but I'd like to see, maybe test some other stuff. I don't know, get some more coordinated tap-ins, maybe.
If you learned anything from, your time, kind of serving as our understudy to some degree, you already know the process. It's ideation, iteration, futurism. Right now, you're kind of still in the ideate phase, but you got to move it forward. It can't just be the same thing every week. I feel like,
Well, I think
to James's point.
Yeah.
You're also practicing futurism because we are light years beyond any live I've ever seen.
Wow, bro. I mean, that's like, we don't need to teach a class on how to fish with dynamite. I mean, the competition is not necessarily like,
I mean, we already beat RZA, right? He was fucking trying to ID live off of Roche Run.
I would say that Diddy kind of bit your steez a little bit yesterday with his dance party and how he had like a bunch of like people tapping into his shit.
Yeah,
I know.
See that? Dude, the leaders lead.
Marathon and tap-ins.
J-Lo's coming on next week.
I'm also like big cat numbers aside, when we got up to like 2000, like I have been surprised at how low some of the numbers have been when you tap in on some profiles that have like big followings. You're just like, why are there only like 60 people here?
Bro, that's the slippery slope. And like, it's the last stage of clout, really. Like, live numbers right there. Can't fake the funk, bro. And that's why, again, I feel like we are unstoppable to some degree. Coronavirus be damned. I mean, assuming one of us doesn't die, I think we're going to be all right. One other good thing that happened too that I would like to mention. Shout out Rob, shout out Mildred, and shout out to everyone who sent through pics of their fucked up cabbage to try to win a gift card. That felt like a nice little thing. Yeah. I was happy about that.
We figured that out on the fly, and it came kind of it came because Rob's just started Venmoing us a shitload of money for wine.
Well, I mean, do you want to say that like Rob basically paid for his own gift cards when you think about it?
It's called laundering money.
Yeah, it's like it's we're just keeping it moving. We're moving it around. Makes it harder to track. It's legal, but
cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, what he just sent it through after the live. Speaking of the live, we just did, right? He sent the money through after he had tapped in, and then we're like, let's just turn it into people's dumb haircuts for content, I guess, right? But that was cool. All right, well done, guys. I don't know when this will come out, but good week, and hopefully a good week moving forward. This is like a conference call to some degree that people pay to listen in on, which I guess is weird. All right, fit check. Who wants to go first? I know, James, you just got a new John. You want to go first?
Yeah, so on the feets, some Versace house slippers.
Those are fake as fuck, right?
I don't remember. They might be real. This one looks better.
How do you know? What do you mean they might be real? What does that mean?
So me and my friend Jeremy, we have a tradition where every year for DJ White Privilege, every year for our birthday, we get each other either fake or real Versace stuff. He got like fake Versace gold chains, fake Versace towels, but then like I have a pair of like real Versace briefs. And like I think these might be real, because if you go to the Versace site and sort shit like price low to high, like sometimes there's stuff that isn't too crazy or too out there. I got him like a Versace like eye mask for sleeping.
Okay.
So I don't remember if these are real or not. I think they might be real though.
Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because perception is reality, and they're perceived to be something. So I think you're going to be okay.
And the Stussy sweats, I've been marinating my meats in for 4 weeks. Undershirt is just like a white pocket tee, and then this is a Lady White Co. like fuzzy. It's not mohair, it's like a wool blend, but it is fuzzy. It matches my facials. Cop from East West, where Jeremy Kirkland's brother, what's his name?
Trevor
Winterhawk. Helped me out, and then I was like,
screaming Winterhawk.
Ah! I was like, yo, can I just call you? Like, this is so stupid. So I called the store, and he's like, oh, hey, also, I'm Jeremy's brother. And I was like, oh, shit, you do sound the same.
He rocks, dude. Trevor's a great guy.
Yeah, Trevor's a great guy. So they were doing a sale. He was just, like, when I shouted out, like, my plan to just, like, cop as many Johns as possible while I still have a paycheck coming in, he just DM'd me, like, yo, check out East West. And
he shot his shot.
He shot a shot, and he fucking scored, because that store has, like, some heat. And I guess it's because Jeremy actually, who, you know, he's like Galaxy Braid Menswear, he actually helped them out with like making connections and helping them like up
fire.
their roster.
Sick.
So they've
they got like some heaters on deck.
I mean, they got EG, like this Lady White Co. company I've only seen it at County Chair, like a little shop in LA. That kind of gives me like Japanese vibes. It's where I got the incense that Chuck loves. Or County Limited, that's what it is. They sell chairs.
What did you say, County Chair?
They sell chairs.
At ye old rocking chair square.
And yeah, the shit was like, I mean, it gives me like Arlagache vibes, but it's definitely
it's nice. You love an orange. You love a burnt orange. You love a neon orange. You just do it, dude.
Hook 'em horns.
Yeah. Oh, bear down. Yo, bear down. You already fucking know the vibes. Wait, are you wearing any footwear?
The Versace.
Oh, the Versace. Okay, that's right. Cool. Panties.
Oh, Hanes boxers.
Hanes boxers. Let's toss it to, I think he's down here. Chuck, is that you?
Yeah. Birkenstocks. You can't see them. I'm holding them up. Birkenstock Bostons.
What color?
Petrified good. They're like the maple suede, but they're looking pretty black these days. Aphex Twin shorts.
That syrup has gone bad. It's turned.
Carhartt tee, Uniqlo underwear, Warby Parker glasses. Same old shit.
Sick, bro. And your gold chain.
Yeah, Jane's.
Look at this fit of Zuckerberg behind you, bro. Can we acknowledge this? Would you say this is is that his most iconic? I have a whole section on fits, but you think this is the most iconic fit when you think of the movie?
Yeah, like that part, oh man, we're kind of jumping ahead, but that part of the movie almost inspired me to wear pajamas when I quit one of my last jobs and just
oh, really?
Out. Yeah,
damn, you were like almost inspired.
It was that bad. Yeah, I considered it.
The thing about this fit that I love, that I was thinking about it, that actually makes it so accurate, is he's not wearing just like Adidas Audulette sandals, like the most popular. He's wearing the Audi Massage, the massaging joints. Remember those were popping off where you could like, you walk and you get your foot massaged? I remember those like.
Those were the official shower shoe. Of like
like in college, right? Or I mean, I don't know if Zuck was wearing them in the shower because he like was wearing them like as his main footwear item. That would be super gross. But yeah, that was just like, what's just a detail, because that like that time period, whatever, 2003, 2004, that was like the sandal. But anyway,
like Zuckerberg said that I like did a few Googles, and Zuckerberg said that Jesse Eisenberg was wearing the exact same shirts, hoodies, and sweaters that Zuckerberg owned, like at that time. Also, I got to turn my email off.
Yeah, please, dude. This is
don't do disturb, homie.
Yeah, this is the second time, man. Can you just have like a little respect for the process? Yeah, and we're gonna talk social network till you guys want to murder me, but that was just such. Chuck, the whole thing was we were gonna do the backgrounds for like a little bit, just a taste, and then take them down, but you just left yours up, so I had to address.
You said you were coming in hot, I thought, so I left my note.
Yeah, I came in hot. We're past that point now. Now we're doing the more like beginning noodling part of the show to rev up, so then we can dive into the movie stuff later. But whatever, I guess it's too late now. Chef, fit check.
Yo, I'm wearing some Ralph socks, Acme Studio pants. This T-shirt is by this bar that's like attached to our office. It's called McQuaid's. It's like a shitty dive bar.
Kiss me,
Irish.
I'm Irish.
What's up?
Kiss me, I'm Irish.
Yeah, no, it's we actually made these shirts for them because like the only people that go to this bar are Mother employees and
Mother made them.
We made these T-shirts for McQuaid's, yeah, because we love this bar so much. It's kind of a long story, but like basically they were closed for over 2 years because they were like building on top of it. They added like another commercial building or something on top of this bar, and so while that was happening, the bar had to shut down. But then they recently reopened, actually right before quarantine. Like that was the last bar that I went to before like physically distancing myself from anybody else. But the only people that—
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
So you love this bar so much that you made merch for the bar, but you don't love the podcast enough that you could like make merch for the podcast?
Well, I mean, I didn't make it. Mother made it for—
I'm assuming you had a hand in the matter.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay,
actually.
never mind.
Yeah.
Hey, Chef.
I'm sorry for criticizing you and attacking you. My apologies.
Suck my dick. I'm Irish.
But yeah, it's funny, dude. The only people that go to this place
Don't
are,
talk into the mic like this.
Suck my dick, Lawrence.
God damn it. Us and a bunch of Teamsters, because there's like a UPS like giant parking lot for like all the UPS trucks in the city.
Sure.
It's like right next to our office too, because it's like we're like buttfuck Hell's Kitchen. But
You guys are way the fuck out there. Do they ever?
Yeah.
Is there ever any tension between like the fucking nerd the nerd admin and the Teamsters?
Dude, actually, it's a very happy place. It's a nice blend of people that just don't really give a shit about each other. And,
Nice.
Yeah. And then like
Thank
Tommy
you for the Wikipedia plot of the shittier Irishman 2.
Yo, McQuaid's. If you're ever in Hell's Kitchen, go to McQuaid's.
What's
anyway,
the Cardi?
What's up?
What's the Cardi?
This is Nana Mika. I think I've worn this on the episode before. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's just a little cold in this basement today, so I just threw it on.
Question for all of you guys: do you ever feel pressure to not wear things multiple times dealing with the podcast?
I thought about it today, honestly.
Well, you have limited options.
Yeah, but yeah,
situation.
I have like 2 tote bags worth of clothes down here that I've just been like cycling through, plus like all the new shit that I've been buying since I've been here. But yeah, nothing's like comfortable enough to want to wear around the house.
I feel more pressure to have like a fire background than anything else.
Oh, like your
Like
your apartment.
my little vibe corner over here.
Is that your best vibe? Like pound for pound, that corner is the best vibe check in the whole crib. Would you say?
Probably, or like the tapestry I have over here, but but if I sit there, I would have to look up, like my head up, and then I would just look fat, So,
yo, I don't know if I look any different than before, but it's funny you say that. Jenna was like, yo, on Instagram, I saw a clip from the other thing the last Zoom. She's like, yo, you look like dog shit. So she set up a rig for me so that the height is different, but it's just sitting on top of a salad spinner is really.
It's not like the 25 books she's read in the last week.
Wait, if I turn it around, could you guys see the yeah.
But your crib looks very tasteful, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's really pretty minimal. I don't know. Jenna just does it. And there's a lot of gold stuff. It's actually, what I would say? It's like classy Trump, dude. That's what my place is.
Wait, don't be redundant. Classy Trump is just a redundant pairing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Chuck is in a fucking kill room.
Yeah.
What? It's just a bedroom.
It's just a kill room. What?
Are
it's
the
just
walls
it's just a room where people get killed.
What color are the walls? Is it like custard or like flan?
Yeah, that's actually a good way. That's actually a good word.
Yo, get my man a job at Pantone ASAP. He's snapping.
My man's eggy. Okay.
Oh yeah, let me go so we can just move past this and get into this thing. Burke Boston, Navy suede. They're actually, it's weird. I don't know if you guys ever dealt with this, but I used to prefer soft footbed, and now I do hard. And I wish I had never even owned soft. Yeah, it's so stupid. But anyway, in my younger, stupider days of soft footbed Burke purchases, these are a leftover. But I just use them in and around the house.
My friend my friend just got some Bostons that I think the footbed is actually like roped leather or some shit. Like
what?
It requires serious breaking in. The dude was like, you're gonna have to wear these around your crib for a month or two before you can really feel comfortable in them. Walk around the street.
That's like Burke's 404. That's the expert level.
It's the expert level. Yeah.
I didn't even know how do you have to earn enough mileage to even get that option? I've never even heard of that before. It's like a diamond club level.
Yeah, it was he was in the shop, so he wasn't he wasn't copying online, and they were very.
He went to the private room in the back, with Howie Bling, dude.
Little espresso.
Yeah, right. For the VIP.
Biscotti.
Yeah. And then I have Entire World socks on, and then I'm wearing the Gorecki cargos. I lost my headphones. I forgot I don't have any. I have no rope. I've been wearing the Gorecki cargos nonstop. I want so many more pairs. I only have the one because I've been living in these things, and I'm realizing they're the best pants ever. But I can't buy them because the last drop they sell it immediately. Yep. But I feel guilty asking Antonio to he'll give them to me, but I want to buy them because he earned the money.
If you can, the 18's pants that I copped, which are I think the
lounge pants, yeah.
I think they're similar shape and similar cut to the Goreckis, but just no cargo pants or no cargo pockets.
Right. And I don't use them at all. It's definitely just like a look, but it's the print on the fabric, and the fabric itself is just like, what? I don't know how it should be illegal, dude. I don't know what Antonio is up to in the lab, but like my man's got the R&D on the fabric development going overtime. This shit is incredible.
Nah, it's next level. Oh, and Jimmy Garecki was on the Jimmy Sweatpants was in the IG Live.
Jimmy Sweatpants was in the IG Live reminding people about the sweats that are dropping. I mean, and honestly, like, that's the best recommendation I could ever make. I literally have not taken them off.
They sold out. T-shirt. I think they sold out like at people said at 11 a.m.
There's an issue with the drop. Yeah, they sold out like even before in a pre-order window. I don't really know. I wasn't in the shit like that.
Whatever. The point is, it's Antonio's still fucking making product fly, which is great.
Yeah, but anyway, again, I just feel like guilty because I want the cargos, but I'm trying to. This is the thing. You try to do the right thing. And you get fucked over, man. I should have just fucking begged, pleaded like an asshole. But
like what you
and then I got a tee. Yes, like I normally do. I have a T-shirt that says "Alter reality with psychedelics, not politics." Okay, very, very fucking shout out the Central High. Shout out Michael Carney. I know he's getting a lot of love on the podcast, but I just have a lot of his tees. I find them all very funny. And this one I personally do agree with. I would rather get fucking zooted on Zoom with the boys than think about the political future of this grave, dire nation.
Zoom in.
So, yeah. And then needles, 3 cuts, not one hoodie. It's three hoodies. Not more.
Did you buy that from Chuck?
Yes, dude. I was gonna say, shout out to Chuck. We have our own, like, this is a traveling John. Sometimes worn by my wife. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll be selling it to someone and I'll be paying it forward. But Chuckles is the source, and I gotta shout him out. When I got it, it smelled great. And I know people tell Chuck all the time that he smells great, and it's true. He does. I mean, that's one myth. That's one rumor that I can confirm 1,000%. My man is delicioso.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
You look good. You look good. Better than I ever do.
No. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think this kind of listen, man, if you know, you know. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. All right. And then that's basically the fit check, I guess. And then the one question I wanted to just quickly go around the room, I want to know if anyone is regressing into like past behavior because of quarantine. I'm only saying this because I have gone back to fucking gaming, and I started a mood board on IG. So I know, dude. How to Talk to Girls at Parties 2 in stores now. Go cop that and follow me on Steam to play Counter-Strike. Gully Guy Larry. I'm back to the old meme, bro.
Gully Guy Larry, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, so it's bad. It's bad. I'm embarrassed, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm an open book. I'm transparent about it.
What do you play on? What do you play? Because I caught the PS4, but I have played it maybe like twice.
You said you got good games though, right?
Well, that's what people say, but they're all fucking like role playing RPGs where there's like storyline.
What are you trying to do? Shoot a motherfucker?
I'm trying to like shoot cops and like punch Nazis. Well, and like I need to download GTA. That's what I need to do.
Don't you have Red Dead? You should have got Red Dead is what you need.
Well, I got a bundle. So I got God of War, got his ass, and 2 other games. I don't know what they are, but they're one of them is about like a fucking like virus pandemic outbreak where the whole world just shuts down. And it was kind of spooky.
Death Stranding? Death Stranding?
No, Last of Us.
Well, you should get Death Stranding. Apparently, that shit is a fucking zoovie that you can play. I mean, I'm sold on the general concept.
I mean, I have got
there's like ass. Famous. There's real actors in this shit.
Oh, really? I don't know. I don't know. I just got to download fucking GTA, like Vice City or San Andreas.
You're not a real gamer, bro. I am gamers rise up, dude. These are my people. I'm standing in solidarity with them. But I'm playing Counter-Strike, the same game I used to play at Grail. That's the only game I have, and I've logged an embarrassing amount of hours. But I'm doing what I know that is bad for me and is wrong, but I just can't help it. You know how it goes in quarantine. Chuck, are you regressing at all?
Well, I'm drinking way more than I ever have. I think I'm like setting new records and shit, but I don't think it's bad.
Are you drinking more frequently or more quantity or both?
I would say more frequently. Because like before I would never really drink during the week. Ever. And like now I always do.
You would just smoke.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's not so much a regression as that like a troubling step that you're taking for your future.
Well, Lawrence, when you say regression, do you mean like because when you first brought this up, I didn't know that you meant like past behavior, like kind of like
okay,
I guess of the old world, or just like becoming a bigger piece of shit than we maybe were during like week 1 of quarantine.
I didn't know what regressing meant. I thought you meant just what bad shit are you doing?
I mean, I'm
getting wasted.
I appreciate Chuck's very just foundational understanding of general prompts, so that's good. I guess James, to your point, the floor is yours. I mean, you could say whatever. I don't really care. It's not. This isn't a real thing. This isn't a show.
I think that, yeah, it's true. No, I think like, I'm definitely operating in like weeks of like good behavior and then weeks of like bad behavior where we just like sit around and like do nothing. So like 1 week I'll be like cooking healthy meals and like doing like home workouts and shit and like, making sure the crib is clean. And then like last week shit just went left. And like, ordering Commodore like multiple times a week, which was fire.
Health and wellness got me fucked up. I'm eating chicken Sammy's only.
Yeah. Copping Johns, letting the place get messy. I had one kind of like regressive thing, but it's slipping my mind now. So I don't know, whatever.
What about you, Chef? Can you indulge vices in your currently imprisoned state?
I've regressed. I used to drink a lot. You guys know that. I stopped like I would say like last fall. I toned it down a lot. I stopped drinking like a couple nights a week, and then I like kept it pretty easy during the week, and then we'll go harder on the weekends. But like since I've been here, I think my cousin, who obviously is housing me, we've just been like enabling each other to kind of just start drinking beers like earlier and earlier,
the start time of drinking does like. I used to be like, all right, like 5 o'clock. And then like some days it's like, no more meetings, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 2 p.m. Let's fucking go. Fuck yeah. Yeah. I mean, but like, I don't know, kind of like, also like kind of similar to what James said too, though, like last week and the week before I was like doing a lot of like workouts. I like went for a couple runs. I was like doing that kind of shit. But then like this week I haven't done anything. Honestly, the last like 4 or 5 days I've been pretty like horizontal, just like almost the entire time.
I got hungover. I got hungover for the first time, like maybe the first or second time all quarantine, which is like a feeling I haven't felt in a minute. Because to like Chuck, the frequency of drinking has definitely increased, but you're not drinking for like 6, 7, 8 hours. You just like have a bottle of wine, a bottle of natty, and like go to bed. But I want to say Friday or Saturday, I definitely got a little lit. And then like what sucks is that when you're hungover at home, you can't really do anything about it. Like you can't like go walk around or like go get like a fucking heavy ass brunch. Is
that what you normally do when you're hungover?
I mean, I definitely wallow in my own filth, but I think like once I like swallow my pride and show my disgusting mug to the world, then like I think that's actually what cures it, is like going out and like drinking mad coffee or having like a nice meal outside, or just like being outside in nature. But when you're just home, like what the fuck are you gonna do? Just like jerk off again?
Yeah, I guess the moral of the story is that we're all doing really awesome. I don't know what else.
I will say I'm reading a lot more. Like that's like
that's
content consumption is brazy right now, which I think to an extent is somewhat positive.
If you're at home right now, you need to be doing a couple things: getting your paper up, stack that bread, get your culture up, dude. Stack the knowledge, consume more podcasts, right?
Watch more Love Island.
Yeah, exactly. My wife just started the season that's like right now, and I've been in and out. I've been gaming a lot, obviously, so I've been focused on doing me right now. But it seems like it's a great cast, and it seems like a lot of fun times.
The challenge just started last week, and this season looks like it's gonna be really fucking fire. I don't know if you guys like watch.
No, dude, that's below my pay grade at this point.
Dude,
the current Love Island is season 6. Jen's watched 5 and 6. I've watched 1 and I just started on 2. And spoiler alert, like me and my GF were like looking up a few people, like where are they now? Because this was like 2016. One person just fucking killed himself.
Dude,
also the host of the show killed herself.
She died. Yeah, like pretty rectory.
So I feel like there's like also the host, the narrator guy whose voice you hear all the time. He had a tour called Failing Upwards when we were at Barstool, and we were like, yo, can we sue this fucking bloke? And they were like, nah, we don't have any rights to the shit in like the EU.
Yeah, and obviously we're like the experts on all things IP, so like we knew what was happening in that moment for sure.
Exactly.
But that mate tried to run off with our swag. I mentioned that to Jen, and she like laughed hysterically because apparently that guy's only now nuclear famous because like he's everyone's favorite part of the show. This was obviously before he like really popped stateside, so like give us some credit.
Love Island is fucking massive, bruv.
No, but I mean in the States, mate. In the States, mate.
I think on this side of the pond too, mate.
This was like 2 years ago.
This was like 6 months ago.
No.
Anyway.
Whatever.
Dude, those guys are cranking out like 50 episodes a season. Like,
dude,
for real.
And they go live like the next day. Like they film a day, and then the next day is when it's live on TV, and that's why like they have like audience live voting, and you basically affect the show like the next day, like 2 days later.
Groundbreaking. It's absolutely groundbreaking stuff. I'm not a huge fan. I don't claim to be, but game recognizes game. When we're entertainers, we get what it's like in show business. You got to respect those people.
We'll get to this, I think, when we eventually talk about this movie that we're all here to talk about. But when I was at Snapchat in 2016, that's when Love Island fucking blasted off. And whenever publishers started writing about Love Island in the UK or Australia, their traffic would just fucking through the roof.
So Daily Mail and like whatever.
Daily Mail, The Sun, all of a sudden you had everybody was just trying to talk about Love Island because they knew that once they did, it was just like gangbuster numbers. Anyway.
All right. So again, it seems like the Throne Fits boys are doing absolutely great, at least great enough that we could get paid to watch Zoovies.
You don't think I deserve your attention?
I think if your clients want to sit on my shoulders and call themselves tall, they have a right to give it a try, but there's no requirement that I enjoy sitting here listening to people lie. You have part of my attention. You have the minimum amount. The rest of my attention is back at the offices of Facebook, where my colleagues and I are doing things that no one in this room, including and especially your clients, are intellectually or creatively capable of doing.
Last time we did this, we did There Will Be Blood. This time we are doing The Social Network. Hopefully you watched it on Netflix. Hopefully it's still streaming by the time we wanted to put this out. Well, first and foremost, are we only going to do movies about like megalomaniacs? Yes. Is that like, we clearly have a vibe. Well, actually, I will say we were going to do Old Boy, right?
Yeah.
But Old Boy, I have Prime, Hulu, and HBO. Like I got everything, so I was good to go on Old Boy. But you guys don't have
No. So it's some like sub-service of Amazon, at least for me, where you have to. It's called like Mubi or some shit.
Yeah, I don't have that shit. I'm not fucking.
No,
cool.
I have Prime too, but I think it's like the paying version of Prime. So it's like you could sign up for a free trial, but then it would like start charging you, a week later, and you would obviously forget to do that and just like get charged like whatever. Yeah. So
that's how Showtime got me.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be my choice, and I was like, let's do Old Boy, the Korean version from 2003, which Sham and Chuck have never seen, and you need to see that shit. It is like, I mean, Korean cinema has been, gas for a minute now, but I think like for me at least, Old Boy was the first instance where I was like, holy shit, like these Korean motherfuckers are killing it.
Yeah, it's to me like it's actually kind of funny that you guys haven't seen it, though. I guess like this is we're gonna prove a bigger point here because you guys hadn't seen There Will Be Blood. I want to ask about The Social Network, but not seeing Old Boy because like Old Boy, it's such like a twist ending that I feel like is in the zeitgeist that people talk about. I don't know when it came out.
2003. So how old were you guys in 2003?
9 or 10.
8.
Yeah, but you might have seen it like within a couple of years. I mean, I would have only been like in high school, but I like someone had maybe told me about it or something, and I watched it, or maybe in college actually. It was one of those. Maybe I'm not giving you guys enough credit.
It was definitely one of those films in college where it's like, bro, you haven't seen Old Boy, bro? That shit's fucking crazy, bro.
Yo, good time.
The Mount Rushmore, and maybe the fact that James and I went to like I think kind of different schools from like a culture standpoint. Like the freshman 5 movies at Wake were like Boondock Saints,
City of God,
City of God.
Old Boy.
What's the movie with what's the fake Matrix with Christian Bale? It came out a couple years later. It's an action movie.
I don't know.
That one, which I can't remember, but yeah, that's but anyway, Old Boy is a very college movie. I'm surprised you guys hadn't seen it, but you should watch it anyway. But I was thinking if we were going to do another fucking megalomaniac movie, Zegalomaniac Zuvi. We could do Jobs, the Steve Jobs movie. Fucking
No, I'm an extra in that movie.
What?
Yeah.
Talk about burying the lead. Why didn't you mention this in your failing upwards interview when you interviewed for the whole podcast that shall not be named? Was it?
I don't know. Wait, but I was in the one. I was in the one with Michael Fassbender, not the one with.
Which one do you think we're fucking talking about, dog?
Because that was
not the Ashton Kutcher joint.
Jobs. The one with Ashton Kutcher is called Jobs, and you said Jobs, so I thought you meant.
Okay. Well,
I've never seen the Ashton. I've never seen the Ashton
Kutcher
one.
Oh, it's trash.
It was trash. But the Michael Fassbender one, yeah. Well, like I was an extra in it. Basically, they like that scene where he's like unveiling the Lisa in that. I was in that crowd, clapping.
That's cool. So you saw Fassbender perform a bunch of takes in person.
Actually, no. It was lamer.
What?
They just recorded everybody in the crowd, like doing. Like, the director did come out. Danny Boyle came out and was like, all right, I want you guys to do like this, say a couple of these things. He called out like specific people, and they got like shots of like some people like shouting things out and like all that kind of stuff. But like, Fassbender was not there.
That's the magic of cinema, baby.
I was gonna say, I guess that's why they call it movie magic.
Yeah,
don't ask to see how the sausage is made, man. Don't ask.
They filmed it at De Anza College, which is like a community college that was about like a 20-minute drive from where I went to school. And while I was in college, I was a freshman, so I was just like, yeah, dude, fuck yeah.
Speaking of filming at schools, did you know that not a single scene in this movie is filmed at Harvard in The Social Network?
I did not. Fuck.
Yeah, basically, and I only know this.
Let's get into it. Let's get into the fucking. Let's tap in.
So listen, I've read Wikipedia, okay? So I think you could say I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, basically, no. Apparently, when you film movies at Harvard, right, like it's basically like a no-fly zone because there's a movie in the 1970s, Love Story. It's actually a good movie. I've seen it before. They fucked up the whole campus with the production, so you can't do it anymore. So it was.
They tore up the grass and shit?
I think it's like just general damage. Just we're Harvard, and this is beneath us.
We're gentlemen of Harvard. I was going to say, and I'm sure we'll get in.
Shout out the gentlemen of Harvard, bro.
I'm sure we'll get into this, but I was like, damn, did Harvard pay to like consult on the script? Because so many times in the movie, they're like, yeah, like girls just want to fuck guys with the Harvard.
I read about this, not in preparation for this episode, but like a while ago. And it was fucking Natalie Portman because she gets like a little shout out in what's his face's
she's an actress. She's
the movie star that is referred to.
Right.
She went to dinner with Sorkin and basically like just like spilled the beans on what life as a Harvard student was. She was dating somebody that was in the Porcellian, and that's how they got insight into fucking into like finals clubs and shit.
So it was
the line is Zuckerberg was the biggest thing on campus that included 19 Nobel laureates, 15 Pulitzer Prize winners, 2 future Olympians, the Winklevoss, and the movie star. The movie star is obviously Natalie Portman, who went to Harvard after episode 1. Yeah.
Yep.
So when all the dudes were like, yeah, like chicks just want to fuck guys in the whatever the house is, or like with the Harvard address, was that them just like
Harvard email?
Was that them being like facetious, like narcissist, or was that like was Natalie Portman kind of like, yeah, like the guys there suck and they're all into their own selves and like there's no way that
it's clearly a negative. It's a negative portrait of like finals club guys, which are basically just like even extra more elite. They're the SEAL Team 6 version of frat boys, right? Like, I respect them. That's like the elite of the elite. Those are my guys that I salute them. You know.
But whoever consulted in that opening scene when like he's like home coding like face smash whatever, cheek smash.
Cheeksmosh.com.
And they cut to the scene where like they're having a party in the finals club and there's like hot girls like stripping, playing strip poker and like making out with each other. There's no way that shit happens at Harvard. Come on. Just
I don't know, dude.
Who knows, man?
No way. Maybe.
But here's the thing. The biggest point here, we have to, moving forward, we have to suspend all disbelief because this movie is so factually inaccurate of not just, I'm sure, James, the college experience specifically at Harvard with all these fucking nerds partying, but like this is not even what happened really in the Facebook story. This is based on a book that is directly basically Eduardo's side of the story, right? So my first question fundamentally is, who do you root for when you watch this movie? It says a lot about you. Who is your protagonist? Because there's not really one at all.
I mean, Rashida Jones.
It's got, yo, dude, that's the company line when you work in Vampire Weekend. That's a fucking canned response. That's a canned response.
So who are the options, right? You have Mark Zuckerberg, you have the Winklevoss, and their little fucking
Eduardo. You could root for Sean Parker.
Eduardo. Sean Parker.
I don't know. He rocks.
I guess Eduardo just kind of because he's like a fucking sap sucker who gets played by these like alpha gorillas, but like he's also just trying to sue them for how much did he get? Like $600 million? Like,
all right. So Eduardo Saverin's settlement was never revealed, but his net worth as it stands right now, just like based on if you just Google, it is for 10 Bs, no, $9.9 billion.
Jesus Christ.
So he's a billionaire.
Zuck's at like 60.
Zuckerberg was the youngest billionaire ever and is one of the top 10 or 5, depending on the day, richest guys in the world. He's worth $65 billion, but Eduardo is a billionaire.
From Facebook stock?
Yes.
I was watching like that fucking Vox Vox explainer videos or something on billionaires though, and the number of billionaires between like 1 and 10 bill versus the number of billionaires between like 10 and everything higher is so disproportionate. Like there's like only like a handful of people that have more than 10, but there's like hundreds of people that have in between 1.
My point is when you watch this story and even when they do the end credits and they do like the freeze frame title, that like title card that tells you like what they're up to, that whole thing, like you think that Eduardo, like, okay, he didn't get fucked over, but $10 billion. I would not only that happen to me, but like things 1,000 times worse. I'll also get accused of animal cruelty and I'll be found guilty for
I'll let things 1 billion times worse happen to me for $1 billion.
Exactly. So it's like, I honestly don't see him as a protagonist because like ultimately, sure, he made out. I don't see it as him. For me, I don't think there is one.
Well, that's my point is like, you're kind of rooting for him only because he's the antithesis to like Zuckerberg and the Winklevoss. But then when I'm just like, wait a second, his whole pursuit is just for money here, you know, and for like, I guess like vindication on getting his name on the match or whatever. But then, when it's like, I think it said like 600 million settlement or I don't know, but then 10 billion, you're just like, fuck this guy.
Well, 10 bill is all. The movie came out 10 years ago. You know, his settlement probably was around like 600 mil, and to invest that to get to 10 bill, you know, like over this amount of time, who knows what the fuck he's come up with.
Or he was getting it was in stock and he held on to it, and it's just the value of the stock, which is probably right what it is. The Winklevoss, James, they split a very paltry sum compared to all this. They got 65 million, I think, to split.
That's what I'm thinking of.
And fuck these guys. They went to the Beijing Olympics and they only got 6, dude. That's pretty trash. When you
They're also big into crypto.
They were the first billionaire crypto.
Right. And the Zuck money funded that crypto boom that they got out ahead of, that they were like the face of. So you could thank fucking Mark Zuckerberg for that, which is crazy.
You signed the papers. You set me up. You're gonna blame me because you were the business head of the company and you made a bad business deal with your own company. It's gonna be like I'm not a part of Facebook.
It won't be like you're not a part of Facebook. You're not a part of Facebook.
My name's on the masthead.
You might want to check again.
It's because I froze the account?
You think we were gonna let you parade around in your ridiculous suits pretending you were running this company?
Sorry! My Prada's at the cleaners! Along with my hoodie and my fuck you flip-flops, you pretentious douchebag!
The cast for this movie, I feel like, is sleeper, smash, crazy ensemble. We mentioned the fact that you're watching it and you're almost like, ooh, Rooney Mara, like out of nowhere kind of cameo. I forgot about that. Rashida Jones, it feels like cameo, but at the time they hadn't even like popped off. So when you even consider that, this is like a murderer's row of like
also,
who's who of like future stars.
So I think it almost is so obvious that I don't want to miss it, but like Jesse Eisenberg is the fucking perfect Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
And like when I think of Mark Zuckerberg now, even 10 years, I've only seen this movie like, I don't know, like twice, 3 times now. But 10 years later, when I think of Mark Zuckerberg, I still kind of sometimes see like Jesse Eisenberg as Mark. Not like the real fucking
you had no
Zuckerberg.
reason to think about Mark Zuckerberg prior to this movie coming out, though.
No, this gave Zuckerberg like almost like an avatar, right? You think of Jesse Eisenberg and how he portrays Zuckerberg, and he almost like turned him into like a weird, mythical, hateable creature. Listen, Zuckerberg's got a lot of PR problems, but like I feel like this movie, when it came out, people were like, it makes him look bad, but like, I don't know. But now it's almost like, how fucking can you imagine the vision to be like, well, no, this guy's like bad fucking news, dude.
Also, I feel like Armie Hammer for playing both Winklevoss, he was pretty fire because like up until Call Me by Your Name, I feel like he had so many missteps.
Yeah.
But this was like the first time he had kind of stepped out onto like the main stage, and he definitely plays like a fire version of the Winklevoss twins, which I think maybe got overshadowed by his like next few roles where he fucking sucked ass. He was like Superman. Was he super?
That was
Henry not Superman.
That was Henry.
Okay.
Cavill. Yeah. No, but Armie Hammer in this movie, first of all, another fucking nice little Wikipedia fucking nugget for the boys. He went to twin camp with his body double for 10 months.
What the fuck?
To like get because the whole thing with the Winklevoss that actually makes the character so sick is that it's actually like a left brain, right brain twin. So they're the same, but they're different, but it's like subtle. And it's just like, honestly, the fact that no one really talks about this is mind-blowing because it might be, I mean, Eisenberg is in GOAT mode, we can all agree, but like this is really, really strong. And Call Me by Your Name proves that. He's a very talented guy.
Yeah, I read that
he's too handsome. He's too handsome. That's the problem.
The guy that played the other twin from the neck down in the movie is the guy who tries to come into the bathroom after they get sucked off. And he's like, there's some girls getting cleaned up in there. And he's like, nice.
That dude is like the ultimate Chad. He's wearing a saggy beanie. I took a note down because I was like, yo, they killed it on this.
He's a Ralph Lauren model, right?
He's like, sick, bro. Sick. And he has a saggy beanie on. It's just so perfect. Okay. I don't think anything else in the cast. Oh, here's the craziest thing.
Dakota Johnson.
No, but crazier. You know, Jonah Hill was auditioned and was turned down for the Sean Parker role.
Oh, really? Damn.
I don't know what movie that is with Jonah playing Sean Parker, but clearly Jonah wanted it. And I think this is in 2010. So he's probably auditioning like 2009, 2008. That's like before the Jonassance. But like, yo, they pigeonholed my man. Ultimately, it probably worked out for the best. But Fincher said no go. He couldn't get you. Did not was not.
I've never been a huge JT fan, except when he shows up on the show of our boy Sean Evans, Hot Ones. But again, I thought JT was fucking great, and like it's so easy. I feel like that was kind of risky because it's like so easy to just be like, oh, that's Justin Timberlake. That's just Justin Timberlake playing in this movie. But he was like pretty good as like a fucking slick asshole.
Yeah. My hot take is that he's playing himself, which is why he's so good. Because think about it, in Sync, he was like the jock cool guy, but he's still like a pussy in a boy band. And this character of Sean Parker that he plays is like a Chad to Jesse Eisenberg's Virgin, but he's actually just like a weak kind of shitty paranoid guy who ultimately like he for sure contributes to his own demise 100%. He's the only person to blame for his ultimate kind of fall. Yeah, so it's like kind of makes me think of like Justin Timberlake and the kind of guy maybe he was trying to be before he kind of found himself and he grew up.
Future Sex Love Sounds was already out when this movie came out, so I would
but he had the context of what it was like to be himself when he was in Sync. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
It might be pulled from real life because the same thing. Did Eisenberg crush it because he literally was training his whole life method acting as a fucking nerd? I mean, there's no way that dude wasn't like a theater nerd. I'm sure he empathized with the role. He gave her a great quote that I read that it was the easiest role he said he ever had to play because you're so you don't care about anyone or anything, so you don't even care about like what the audience thinks of your performance. So he's like, yo, I went fucking full sicko mode, and he's like, that's what unlocked. He's like, if you don't have any feelings or emotion, and you could just go fucking balls deep, he's like, yo, and he like unlocked the swag. Very impressive stuff. I'm a big fan of that guy.
Wait, so when did this come out?
2010.
So this was like a few, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we'll get to this, but only a few years after like the huge like startup culture boom, where you had these fucking like autistic, robotic, angry white men who were just like burn the world at all costs, don't like just for their own betterment. But I feel like Eisenberg nailed, and maybe he just, kind of like set the archetype, but he definitely like nailed, if not created, the version of how we think of like psychotic tech bros.
Yeah, the whole
tech nerds, not even tech bros, but like tech nerds.
The thing that blew my mind is I forgot how many references to like early troll culture exists from like him with his toxic blog, but like it keeps getting like brought up and there's like a lot of quotes. Like he's defending his blog post at the club with JT, right, with the models, and he's like, oh, like I wrote that for the Cretans. Like they acknowledge this idea of like troll culture building up online, and that's why like this movie to me it is so much more, I think, important than people realize, because I feel like it has a point of view and predicted a lot of kind of internet trends that we see now, not just like social media taking over our lives, but the troll culture, toxic masculinity shit is like kind of crazy. He is that dude in the whole movie, even after he's a billionaire. Right?
Was that blog post? Like was that blog post real? Like the actual words?
I think so. It seems super specific, but like
Zuck on it.
Yo, bro, it was free smoke for Erica Albright. Like, and she gave it back to him. That's the one thing too. I think Rooney Mara is so great because Erica Albright is the victim of abuse throughout this whole movie, but she plays her like such a shrill bitch that I'm kind of like, I kind of don't blame him for popping off.
No, dude, no, take it back. I
mean,
absolutely fucking not. No,
she ended up fine. No, I'm not trying to, but it's very much like an Elliot Rodger type fucking thing, dude. The whole thing is very much a incel pickup artist type beat. It's like,
yeah, Sean Parker was like, I wanted to fuck the girl that was dating the lax bro. Yeah, the lax captain. Like,
so many huge decisions in this alternate reality that we're all agreeing is not real life, but so many decisions that affect all the events in this long history. It's all about getting pussy, right? Like that's what the funniest thing is. Like for Zuckerberg, it's just all about getting laid and status, which I also feel is like very much a part of like this online like jealousy culture of people thinking that like I deserve. It's like a weird millennial thing, right? Like people think they just deserve stuff. So Zuckerberg definitely was like not.
He was like a upper middle class Jew from like Long Island or Jersey, and so he wasn't allowed into like these Ivy whatever the fuck finals clubs or whatever, and so he just was like, fuck.
Do we think guys like this are redeemable? Like that's the thing, right? At the end, with Zuckerberg, you see some subtle things. Like I think he offers something to Rashida Jones that seems very genuine. Like seems like he's like and you can see the kind of. Do you think that? And obviously we kind of know what happened with Zuckerberg in real life with Facebook, and he kind of like doubled down seemingly on his worst fucking habits. But do you think guys like this in general are redeemable?
No.
You strike one strike, whatever, you're finished.
I mean Zuckerberg's a whole nother level, but like I don't know. I guess it depends on it's case by case.
Well, here's the $1 million question for everybody. No pun intended. Can money then buy happiness? Was that what it's about?
I mean, I would like to think so, but I guess no.
I don't think his motivation though, and they made it very clear that it's not money. He just wants to be accepted by people, you know? So yeah, I don't think that it's hard to generalize whether every single person like him is redeemable or not, because like, you know, like again, everybody's trying to do.
Well, he's like Daniel Plainview. He has a competition in him and he just wants to see other people fucking lose to him or not win.
But it's not so much about
the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, I think that's why I think he's different. The Daniel Plainview, but there's definitely like similarities also, like when you consider the context of the universes that they're living in. One was like a much more cutthroat thing where you might have to fucking yop the dude pretending to be your brother to make a point, versus like, you know, you want to hook up with the girl, don't go on the internet and blog about her titties being small, right? Like these are different. It's economy. What is this, James? Economies of scale, I believe is a term.
Yeah, opportunity costs.
Yeah. What do we think about the kind of triumvirate of Fincher on the sticks, right, going crazy, Sorkin with the pen, just fucking blacking out in the stew, and then Trent Reznor, and then I guess you tack on Atticus Finch going fucking dummy.
Atticus Ross.
Atticus Ross. Who's Atticus Finch? Oh, yeah.
That's a fucking... To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, shout out fucking Harper Lee, Atticus Ross. But that's the thing. I actually was about to only attribute this to Trent Reznor, and I had to like Google it. But this guy is in Nine Inch Nails, apparently. I don't know. Who
he is. They do all of their scores together.
Really?
What else they do? They did
They did Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
They did mid-90s. They did.
Yeah.
They're doing that new Disney movie that's coming out later this year called Soul. That's supposed to have a really good soundtrack.
Trolls World Tour.
No, but so I think Fincher kind of like he has I think he's the main thing, right? Like, well, actually, the script is incredible, and I think Sorkin and Fincher kind of like balance each other out as like who's really driving this thing, and the score is part of it, but it really is a little bit more of the cherry on the cake for me. Do you guys have like a favorite interesting like shot in this movie? There's two that stand out for me. Is when he throws the beer bottles and then it hits the camera as the wall. That's just like a fucking random little thing when they're in the when they're doing Jackass at the crib, when they're fucked up in the crib doing skits and stunts or whatever the fuck that weird like thing was. And then when they're introducing the Royal Henley Regatta, the way they
the shift tilt or tilt shift.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. That's like some galaxy brand. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yo, what Instagram filter is this?
Yeah, Chef, do you have a moment? Because I know you're a cinephile, or Chuck even, who was probably as high as me watching it.
Are we talking visually?
Yeah, I don't know, just something that you think has Fincher's fingerprints all over it.
I think the intro is like one of the like that part of the score is like my favorite part.
When he's yogging through campus.
Yeah, in the flip flops.
Do you think that's how Mark Zuckerberg actually jogs in real life? Do you think that was like, or is that how Jesse Eisenberg jogs?
So Jesse Eisenberg actually did fencing to prepare for the role.
Get out of here! Really?
He said that it changed his posture, so he brought that into the whole thing. So yeah, I think so.
Wait, why would he fence for this role?
Because Zuckerberg fenced.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, so this is like a wide receiver taking.
What a fucking nerd! What a fucking nerd! This man was lunging. This man was lunging and unguarding like a fucking musketeer. Come on,
Chef. Do you have a favorite moment that like sticks out for you?
The first dude. I mean, I think the first scene, the dialogue in the first scene, like that. It says so much, not only about the whole fucking movie, but also just about like Zuckerberg as a person, right? Like talking about multiple things at the same time, not knowing like what his true focus is, like not knowing like what like he's ultimately like trying to say with this thing, and then eventually like getting ahead of himself to where he loses all of his shit, right? Like that's the whole point of the whole movie. Like this thing happens so fucking fast that
it's traumatic.
Yeah, he's getting sued by his best friend and like these two guys. You know, he's losing his shit because he just like, you know, was like just trying to. He's so focused on accomplishing shit that he's not actually thinking about what he's doing or saying in the moment.
That opening. Do you know? So that opening, the opening scene when they're on the date, which precedes the jog through the quad that Chuck's talking about. You know how many takes this scene took behind me?
No.
99.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But I think it's my favorite. I literally
it's
watched
incredible.
the whole movie. I watched the whole movie and then I went back and I watched this scene 2 more times because I just love it so much.
I think if you are one of the people that's tuning in and you don't want to watch the whole thing, whatever, just watch the scene on YouTube. It really is. And I think it's a testament to the script. James, I know you think Aaron Sorkin is like extra and like played out and like corny, but like you have to admit that this is on another level. Like he truly blacked out on some like Lil Wayne shit. This is crazy.
So I think Sorkin, I wouldn't say played out, but I think that it's such a distinct style of like dialogue that it's almost like distracting. Where it's like, oh, Sorkin, there goes Sorkin with his snappy one-liners and like everyone's line dovetails.
Sorkin.
Every line is just like perfectly connected and the pace is so crazy and frenzied, but everyone's so smart and snappy. But you know, so while that was like an initial, like immediate, oh shit, this is like obviously Sorkin wrote this. This is why the dialogue is so snappy and everyone has like the perfect comeback, the perfect one-liner. It doesn't work for this movie because it's like you're dealing with fucking like mentally unstable people who are constantly trying to one-up each other.
Yeah.
Like out macho, out-man each other.
The one thing, so before I get into the dialogue, I think the big thing for me shouting out Sorkin is the structure with the depositions and how he uses that as like the kind of, you know, to tell the whole story.
That was one moment that I was going to say is when they had the 2 depositions happening simultaneously and cutting back and forth to provide kind of like a timeline. That was like almost like a montage, but in the form of the deposition. But you cutting between like the boardroom, or I guess that's not what Chef has, but like there's like
That's the ad
dark.
board. That's the ad board.
This is the Harvard ad board. Yeah.
Right.
I believe I deserve some recognition from this board.
If you know what
I'm
you're
sorry?
looking for, you would have found it on my dorm room window.
Yes. Oh, the algorithm on the window to me is. I remember seeing this trailer. I remember exclusively because it was before Inception, and I was so hyped for Inception. And then I watched this trailer, and they have the choir covering Creep. We mentioned this last time, but they have that, and it's this build up, almost like you're watching what commercials are for websites now, where it's
somebody using Facebook, right?
Show real people using it, like, hey, yeah, we're connecting, and then they fucking show scenes of the movie, and they show fucking Eduardo like on his Rain Man shit, beautiful minding it out on the fucking window, and I'm like,
I was gonna say, is that not
a classic already?
Is that not just
see this immediately?
Is that not a homage, if not a rip of Beautiful Mind?
Probably. I mean,
which I'm sure is a reference or a rip of something else.
I know we're about to go down a rabbit hole, but let's be real. Like, to me, this is a college movie, right? Like, even that ending title card shit it's not related to, but like they do that with Animal House, like very famously, right? That's like when it became like a big thing. So I think this is a college, there's so many genres kind of at play here, but for me, it's that's why I find it so fascinating. But to the script itself, right? Like Sorkin, for me, it is like a bit Shakespearean in a very like corny, lame way, where it's all like the barbs and shit, and like the speed is very amped up. But I will say, I think Fincher is able to balance him out, like with like the shot that Chuck is talking about, that really long jog is like beautiful, and like you can take a break. And I think the movie is paced really well. Sorkin wrote and directed a movie that just hit Netflix, Molly's Game. Do you know about this? It's terrible.
I tried watching that because
that's why he has no checks and balances. You need checks and balances.
Some people love it, and they're just like, this is such an underrated movie, but it is trash.
Bro, people that like that are like West Wing fans. It's like, that shit is ass. You're just jerking off Sorkin because people love him. And for me, it's like just too much, and it's unchecked Sorkin. And when you bring in Fincher, it's like me and you, man. It's a fucking balance, bro. It's a dance.
I was gonna say, like,
it's a ballet. It's Jesse Eisenberg in fencing class. You know what it is, man. It's a finesse.
There's no reason why like the rise of Mark Zuckerberg should be like an interesting story, and yet like this movie is like addictive, and you can't look away. And you can watch it, in my case, 3 times, in Lawrence's case 69 times. But like there is no reason why I should like care about this fucking nerd battling other rich nerds, you know? And like, because of the dialogue and because of the pacing and the shots, this like fairly mundane story of like a business being built was fire.
It's I believe Erica Albright, what is she called? In her mind, this would be a movie about a successful computer person, right? Like on paper, it sounds like complete ass. If you describe this movie to like an alien, they'd be like, no, dude, this sounds like a 2-pack of ass or whatever. But I think that when you have all these elements like cooking up, like the script and the direction we talked about,
and the score.
So all right, chef, let's get into the score.
Wait, before we talk about the score, I want to say one thing. This is my least favorite part of the whole movie, and partially why I don't think that it's like GOAT level. They could have added 20 minutes on and made it like fucking amazing. The part where he thinks of relationship status.
Yeah.
And how that thought gets like seeded into his mind. How it's just like some random like fucking cutaway of some guy like asking him in class, like, hey man, do you know if like so-and-so is dating somebody? Do you know if she's like trying to date somebody? Like, it's such like fucking like empty, like plot driving dialogue. So Facebook, like, that's so central to like a lot of the themes of the movie, right? Like wanting to understand whether or not somebody is like interested in you / wanting that acceptance.
Chef, you're missing the forest for the trees for 2 reasons. One, that is not some random guy. That is Dustin Moskowitz.
Well, right.
So
not some random guy, but his home.
Chef, his whole life has been building up to that moment. It's always been about status. That is when the epiphany. He lived his whole life to hear that suggestion and for him to get it, and for him, that's what I'm telling you, bro. It doesn't happen right there. You are everything that came before, and you are everything that comes after, baby.
Also, Chef and Chuck, you guys don't.
I thought that was like, what the fuck?
Chef and Chuck, you guys don't. I don't think you kind of like realize this, but Facebook came out when I was a freshman in college.
Same.
It hit my school 2004 in like August or September. We were one of the first adopter. We were one of the first like 20 or 50 schools or whatever to have it. And the relationship status was a legit fucking game changer, and it is. I totally forgot about this because Facebook now is fucking a 2-pack of ass, and I don't use it except for like to sign up for shit. But it was first and foremost end all be all about fucking, and it was about relationship, or like knowing and projecting your relationship status. It was about like looking up photos of people. It was about like figuring out who's dating who. Like what parties people. It really was like a tool to get your dick wet.
Well, it's like Instagram now, which is still Facebook. But
do you remember when Sean Parker at the end of the movie is getting fucked up in La Bump with the interns like Horny Jimmy in his heyday? He invents Instagram. He's talking about he's just which I guess like ultimately is here's the thing too that I was thinking about, right? Like how they created cheek smash. That ultimately is like the seed for Facebook. That was just the boys in the dorm getting fucked up off some brews, dude. That's how a pod comes about. That's like the same. That's just the secret sauce. They're just mixing it up with the boys.
It's crazy. Fun. It's crazy. So
see what happens.
This dude in my high school who now is boys with Foster, and Foster like put him on his gram, and I was like, wait a second, you know this dude? I'm not going to say his name because I'm about to explain what he did in high school. He made he ran like the high school gossip site, which was kind of like the informal news site. And he created a version of Cheek Smosh. And this was in like 2002 where he would put 2 girls up against each other and you would have like a week to vote. And then like the winner would like move on to like the next shit. So like this dude who was also a kind of a psychopath that was just, horny as shit and trying to get fucked. It's all born from the same place, which is just your dick.
March Madness for bitches.
Hell yeah.
Give each girl a base rating of 1400. At any given time, girl A has a rating RA and girl B has a rating RB.
When any 2 girls are matched up, there's an expectation of which will win based on their current rating, right?
Yeah. And those expectations are expressed this way.
Let's write it.
Chef, let's Chef and Chuck as our resident kind of like extra vibed out tune officers. What do we think of this score and like what stands out immediately to you guys?
Doug, it's fire. I have the record of this thing.
You spin this shit.
Yeah. I don't,
wait, like not the vinyl?
Yeah.
The vinyl?
Yeah.
Chef, you're the best, dude. It's really just that simple.
The social network on wax,
dude. It was.
He's gonna be on fucking IG Live DJ Battle. He's gonna drop fucking piano intro part 1.
I mean, it was already a big deal that these guys were making a score for a movie for the first time. Sure. So I was intrigued. And then on top of that, it's fucking gas, dude. Like
it snapped. It snapped.
Like, I was listening to it today. I listened to the whole thing while I was like working, and it's just still it's so sick. And yeah, the industrial as like fucking like sounds that you hear throughout the whole thing, kind of like makes you think of like machinery and like all that kind of stuff. But the piano is so soft and it's always just like so like fucking warm, and it's just like seasoned out, like throughout.
Oh, it's seasoned. That's what it is. Yeah. This shit is so seasoned. That piano theme to me is weirdly optimistic, but ominous at the same time. And when they use it, it's used throughout to such great effect, and it's almost like its own character. Just even that one little theme on the fucking keys, dude.
It's so good.
Sick.
James, the whole reason I asked if I could like try and make a trailer for this one is because I love the music from this so much. And
dude, you should make the trailer. You should make the whole episode.
Just do some work. You can just do some work.
Damn.
What is this?
I opened a new account and put $18,000 in it. Did I get you through the summer?
Welcome to Facebook.
I want to toss to James. James, when you worked at Snapchat, you kind of like had some insight into this world, and me to a lesser degree, I think at Grailed, but like the stages of the startups kind of like, I think, are different enough that they would provide different context. So why don't you tell me what was relatable to you from working at Snap to this shit that you could
deny? I think the shit that I experienced at Snapchat was probably more similar to when the phase of Facebook after this like startup period when it became like a cult of personality thing, and Zuckerberg was like Trump. He was just surrounded by yes men and enablers and people that kind of like, buffered him from like the real world, to the point where he's like, no, like we didn't have fake news for the 2016 election. So I worked at Snapchat from like 2015 to 17, I want to say. And the CEO was Evan Spiegel. And this was when like Snapchat is fucking ass now, right? Like we all know that. But this was when Snapchat was going to be like the next big thing. And it was fucking.
It was. That's the thing. It was
super popping. It made DJ Khaled, effectively. And it was like positioned.
Thanks, Obama.
It was positioned to be like the next fucking huge thing, right? Before IG Stories came along and just destroyed it. Actually, IG Stories started my first week at Snapchat, but it took
brutal, dude. So brutal.
But the similarities. So like Evan Spiegel was. Do you remember him at all? Like he is married to that supermodel
Victoria's Secret, right?
What?
Yeah, it's just some general dime.
It's like Sean Parker in The Club. But no, she has a kid with Orlando Bloom. She's like one of the bigger ones.
Was it Miranda Kerr, or was it?
Yes, her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Orlando Bloom's ex. He is the stepdad, Spiegel.
Yeah, but remember he was like
Weasel.
Remember he was wearing like undercover T-shirts and like V-Man and shit, and he like thought he was like he thought he was like Sean Parker effectively. He had a uniform of, and this is why I equate Common Projects with like Gauche Tech Bros. He had the uniform of Common Projects, Keeley's, Acne skinny jeans, and James Purse t-shirts, which is just like the de facto rich LA asshole look.
You're not an asshole, Evan. You're just trying so hard to be.
But yeah, so the cult of personality was such that like when he was in the New York office, the entire building shut down for like security reasons. And if you hadn't drank the Kool-Aid, and I would like to think that I was one of the few people that hadn't drank the Kool-Aid, I was just like, what the fuck? This sucks. And people were like, no, Evan's here.
Right.
It's like, so?
Lame.
And then like you could see because I worked in a specific area, and when like ideas would come from him, from the top, it was like, we're doing this. And it's like, well, is this a bad idea?
Like the word of God type beat.
Exactly. It's like, no, well, Evan said it. And it was so like, if Evan said it, then it just happened. And he was like obviously very smart. Snapchat had its moment. It's still like, a successful company, relatively speaking. But the amount of like, I was surrounded more by like the sales bro guys, so more like the Eduardos. But when I went to LA and would like be with like the engineers and shit, they were the type of guys that were like, shh, he's wired in. Or they'd be like doing shots between like
I've heard the wired in thing. Like I related most to just like the OG boys club vibes, right? Specifically when they're getting busy out west. That reminded me that first Grailed office, which was where this our previous podcast endeavor, whose name shall not be named, was kind of birthed from there. That was, I believe, Moy famously called it the Wolf of John Street office. That was like, that kind of reminded me about mixing it up with the boys, just trying to create the future, man, which is another, again, great line from the other Sorkin flick, fucking Steve Jobs, Sham, that Steve Jobs movie where me and Waz sat in the garage and we invented the future. You already know Jimmy and I did that. Chef, what I want to know is, as someone who grew up in and around these kind of people, you were like raised in the fire. Do you like, is this?
Yay.
I mean, the first question is, when him and Sean Parker are in the club, what club in Palo Alto is that? Where are
I think that club was supposed to be in San Francisco because they had that weird like fucking time lapse of the sun setting over the Transamerica building.
Okay.
But
Salesforce building.
I have no idea what that was.
Are there clubs like that in the Bay?
What's up?
Are there weird like, clubs like that?
Oh yeah, I mean like there's like a Hakkasan in San Francisco.
It's just so funny because like there's so much money in tech, and there's some people that like want it to be like the glitzy, nightlife of like New York and LA, but it's just fucking.
But they have Burning Man. That's what they have Burning Man for. That's what.
But the clientele is just fucking nerds. It's just like poorly dressed like billionaires. That's it.
I just think that people like inherently there like in the chase for success are just like trying to solve problems, and inherently like in the way that they live their lives can only point out like negative and annoying shit. So it's just not as fun to hang out with them.
Is that why you ultimately fled?
Fled. The word is fled.
Fled? Yo, you on fled. No, you fled.
Like, honestly, like
Let's lead.
My shit, like,
I'm not cut out for this hosting shit. That's why Jimmy won a Pulitzer, baby.
Honestly, dude, like my whole life though, like up until I was a junior in college, that's what I thought my life was gonna be, because that's literally what my worldview was, you know. Like I was a finance major. I interned at like multiple tech startups. Like I just like fucking, you know, like that was my thing. And then I studied abroad, and then I like learned about advertising and like all this shit. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
What year is this?
This is 2000, and I guess like my big like awakening year was 2015.
Post 9/11.
Yeah.
Where do you study abroad that made you realize that advertising was a thing?
I studied in London, but I had an internship while I was studying abroad.
London School of Economics.
Yeah, well,
that's where when the Facebook opens up abroad, they get Oxford, they get Cambridge, and they get the London School of Economics.
LSE.
And the Winklevoss are like, it's time to act now. Now he came to the old country.
Yeah.
That's prestige, dude.
His kind.
The motherland.
His kind came to the old country. Oh, hell no.
I get it. The race was close.
Yeah. And then he goes, also, this is the most random aside that I thought about when I was high as shit. I didn't remember, but this movie is PG-13. And I'm like, wait a second. This PG-13 isn't movies for babies. This shit rocks, dude. This is definitely R. And I'm watching it. And in that scene, when they find out after the regatta that he's expanding in London town, they go, let's gut the freaking nerd.
Yeah.
The freaking nerd. Yo, like, what? Like, I think the PG-13 was well earned now in retrospect.
Wasn't our boy Jack Carlson from Rolling Blazers? He was in the regatta scene.
Yes, that's the scene that he's in. That's what he claimed. That's what he said.
Right. I was like looking out for him, but
he's boys with them.
They only showed one like Dutchman who was like while rowing.
Sorkin is in the movie, by the way, because I was thinking of I looked it up because I was like, yo, is the guy who plays Peter Thiel? No. Is the guy who plays the Prince of Monaco that they
Prince
meet
Albert.
at the race? Yeah, but it's not.
He's got his dick pierced.
But Sorkin plays when they go to New York and Zuckerberg is like,
oh.
That's fucking.
Is that a tisk?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the guttural feeling of disgust, that's fucking Sorkin. Like, okay, bro.
Bill Gates is also played by a lookalike, and he's voiced by a teenage African American boy, according to what I read. Straight up.
Look it up. Doing whiteface?
Just look it up. Yeah.
That's funny.
Wow, yo, get paid, young man. Get paid. Hell yeah, I love that. That's great.
Thanks for the factoid.
Yo, but wait. But I do want to say that.
Yeah, area. Sorry.
Yeah, no, in the Bay. Like fucking,
you are in the bay. Yo, chef, we see your face
in the butt. Oh, you got everyone do their best. Everyone do it.
First, you make a face like you smell some piss.
You do a better one than I do, Jimmy. Fuck.
Well, you're not even trying. This is the thing, dude. We just want you to put some effort into it. You could be great. You don't even know, man. You don't even know. That's all I'm saying.
Who knows?
You gonna do it? I got the screen grab buttons ready.
He's not. Don't make him.
I'm not doing it, man. Yeah, people just like people fucking care so much about that world. Like that is the. I think.
Oh,
like,
continue.
No, that's like the indicator of success, or at least like when I was in college, it seemed like nobody even cared like what they were doing, what they were making, or whatever. Like as long as you could say that you were like going to work at either like a fucking creme de la creme like tech company, or like you could say, oh, I'm gonna go do X, Y, and Z at a startup. Like those are the two things that basically said like, all right, cool, you didn't go to college for no reason. And so like that's why like, you know, like I kind of like thought that that's what I was destined for, I guess, until I realized like that shit fucking sucked.
Wait, excuse me. I hope this isn't too forward. Does this movie personally offend you, Sean?
It doesn't. No. It doesn't offend me at all, man. But like,
I'm fucking with you.
Oh.
Wait, chef though, did big tech like ruin San Francisco? Because I used to go to San Francisco a lot. Visit friends like once a year because I was always thinking like, could I move to San Francisco? It's supposed to be like the most similar to New York. This was kind of before it got run the fuck over by like, you know, Facebook, Google, everything. I think so. Like, you know, this is like during the Great Recession, like thanks Obama, like 09, 10.
Yeah.
And like in the next few years is when San Francisco just became a fucking tech town.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think so. Like, you know, like obviously, like I was younger when it was still cool, so I didn't get to appreciate it for what it actually was. But as I got older and I read more about the city and I started listening to the music and like just like kind of looking at like all the shit that came out of there before all of this stuff, like I think it was a really cool city. But that stuff, I will say on the flip side,
Francisco nights.
on the flip side, that stuff still
bro,
some way, shape, or form
it
exists.
It's the Windy City. It's the city of light, dude. It's the city of love.
It's not. It's
the city that never sleeps, dude. You gotta believe in where you come from.
The cool shit's not in San Francisco anymore. All of the cool shit is in Oakland, and Oakland I think still has
smoking.
Oakland has a genuinely cool like
Oakland, bro. Yeah.
There's an art scene. There's a music scene. There's like all this shit. But I will say, like, this never died completely, right? Like, one of my favorite bands to ever come out of San Francisco was this band called Girls, who I'm sure you guys have heard of. Like, they have some fucking slaps. Their biggest song of all time is called Lust for Life. And that song came out, in like 2010? And that shit was, like around the same time as like.
I love you, but you're such a hipster, dude. You're talking about Girls right now? Come on.
Like it's they
gotta wrap it up. You gotta wrap it up, Chef.
All right, I'm done.
You're becoming a statistic in real time. We love you for that, but like we don't need to be talking about Girls Lust for Life when we're talking about one of the greatest movies I think that truly defined a decade. You got to realize 2010, it just was the movie I believe maybe of the decade. In my opinion.
What?
Yeah. What I was gonna say is,
oh my gosh,
what do you guys rate this movie? Because I think that it did extremely well when it came out at the Academy Awards. I can pull up the receipts if you want.
What did it got? I know it won for best score, but what else did it get? Screenplay or director?
So The Social Network was nominated for 8 Academy Awards. Okay, it was nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor for Eisenberg, Cinematography, Director, Film Editing, Best Original Score, Sound Mixing, and Best Adapted Screenplay. It won 3, which is a lot.
Score.
It won a Best Adapted Screenplay for Sorkin. It won Score for your boy Atticus, not Finch Ross, and Trent Reznor. And it won Best Film Editing to some nerd that is not going to get mentioned because he's not cool enough.
What won Best Film this year? 2010.
No Country for Old Men, I think. Which, yeah, you get. I think.
Damn.
I think so, right? And that would be, and that kind of tells you. I don't want to bury the lead. That I think everyone there can agree. Here's the crazy thing.
Call it, friendo.
We should do that too. What a fucking.
I've only seen it once. I've never rewatched it. Yeah.
It's a gastropiece.
Chef, have you seen it?
No, man. Not my kind of movie. When you guys want to do Lady Bird, I will write the run of show.
So,
why don't we? So we tried to have me pick Old Boy, and we had to call an audible at the last minute. Why don't we have Chuck and Chef pick the next 2?
That's what I'm fine with that. Again, I was trying to. I could do this level of smoking weed and watching a movie and taking notes while I do those things concurrently. I could do that for anything. This was just like the thing that we just went to. It could be, I could even run it if you guys want to make the pick to some degree. I don't, you don't have to do the whole thing.
I would do
some work.
Lady Bird or Somewhere by Sofia Coppola. Those are my 2 favorite flicks.
I don't know if I want to empower you guys anymore, to be honest.
Why don't we throw to Chuck? Chuck, what would you pick?
Pineapple Express.
Yeah, somewhere in between these 2 extremes, right? Here and here.
Wait, Chuck,
there's something in the middle that is acceptable.
We'll figure it out.
Chuck, are you a fan?
I'll circle back. I'll circle back with what I think is a group appropriate movie.
Chuck, are you a fan of big like stoner flicks?
Does the big dog bark? Does the big dog bark when he gets excited? Come on.
Does the bear smash cheeks in the woods?
Ones that like I was like older for, like Pineapple Express for sure. I think Pineapple Express.
You ever watch Half Baked?
No.
Bro!
No, what?
Bro,
I've seen that one.
Bro, I'm a master in the custodial art. Fucking Abba's Abba. You my
only friend.
Chuck, you fucked up big time, dude. You fucked up big time. You exposed yourself as a capper, low key.
Damn.
All right.
Wait, hold on. Okay, let me rush through the rest of the things. Fast. The weird thing to me was that it actually won the Golden Globe Best Picture Drama category, which is weird. Which is like, I know the Golden Globes don't matter, but like only 2 movies still win a Golden Globe, so that to me was pretty ridiculous. And in the drama category, especially considering the other fucking movies that potentially were out. Someone should fact check us.
Catherine, I've got students in my office now. Students, undergrads. I don't know. From the looks of it, they want to sell me a Brooks Brothers franchise.
The fits in this movie are a big deal that I think are highly underrated. The Gap hoodie, right? That's pretty good.
Carolina Blue Gap hoodie.
Yeah.
Gap hoodie was gas.
Wait, it's a gray Gap hoodie.
Is it?
With blue branding, but yeah. With
It's
the strings pulled out.
It's what he's wearing. It's what he's wearing when the kid suggests relationship status.
And when he hacks in.
Yeah.
Chewing on the dart. The Adidas flip-flops, we got over that. Yo, the deposition fits are crazy, right? In the one with the Winklevoss, he has a T-shirt over a button-up with the sleeves rolled up.
That was
crazy advanced. That's insane.
There's like one dude on like the Real World where that was like his look.
Bro, it's almost
you could do a shirt over a button down and then like break dance.
Yeah, it's almost like they're like, okay, we want to like write into the script that he's autistic, but we can't overtly say it because it would be gauche. So just put him in this outfit. Like, it's ridiculous.
I mean, yo, remember? So like Zuckerberg 2.0 or 3.0, the guy that testified in front of Congress last year, like he looked like he looked like he fucking cut his own bangs in quarantine.
He's a Dusty Caesar.
Yeah, he's got the nap Caesar.
He has a fucking Dusty Zuck. When you go to the barbershop and you say, "Give me a Dusty Zuck," you come out looking like Chuck from 2 years ago.
We need to get that much, Mildred. But yeah, he had a fucked up fit while testifying in Congress. I mean, this man cannot toss a fit for his goddamn life.
No, not to save his life, whether fictional or real life. Another deposition fit when he's going against Eduardo, and it's ultimately, I think the fit you see him in last. He's in his formal black hoodie with a shirt and a tie, like it's like a sport coat. It's like, what are you, fucking 12 years old, bro? It's absolutely absurd. Yo, the Winklevoss, low key, never get shouted out, but they're kind of like sporty and rich jock fits when they're working out are like massive gas. Like the
when he's wearing the headband, the headband is fucking fire. Like that shit was cool.
Man's out here looking like Jake Wolf's Instagram fucking had a one night stand with Sporty and Rich, and then fucking spit out a fucking steezy fucking Bruce Weber ad. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
Speaking of is this like this was pre Vineyard Vines? I'm assuming because I didn't see a single whale in this.
It takes place
like peak Abercrombie.
No, yeah, this takes place when the movie opens. It's fall 03. And you kind of see into only 2004 and 2005. You got to remember, Facebook going to 1 million, like, kind of happened overnight. Like, it was huge for them in that success. So the timeline of this is really fucking truncated.
Speaking of the Winklevoss fits, one of the best lines I thought was when they take the meeting with Larry Summers, the president of Harvard, and he's like,
incredible.
I got a meeting with two guys who look like they're trying to sell me a Brooks Brothers franchise.
Yeah. And then he also goes to he goes, Ann, shoot me in the face, or what do you say? Punch me in the face. So that's the thing. There's big comedy moments. That is so funny, dude. And then he rips the fucking doorknob off and he slams it down all frustrated. That's another thing that this movie is really about, like jocks versus nerds and the great kind of, lineage of Revenge of the Nerds and like fucking Animal House, which is like a weird thing. Like this whole idea of
except in Revenge of the Nerds, the nerd rapes the girl. So
yes, that does happen. That's an unfortunate. Tell the Library of Congress they might want to double think about, keeping that one in the stacks. But this movie, like the whole thing is like, this is the one time in their life that things didn't work out the way they were supposed to, right? Or like that whole idea. Which
even the president is like,
yes, that's all.
You guys fucked up. Like
it's about white privilege, bro, and privilege, right?
Yeah, just nepotism.
Yeah. Some other big fits. I feel like Eduardo has like a very slick Regis Philbin hosting Who Wants to Be a Millionaire vibe. Very metallic, metallic, very. Well,
again,
this
is like
post-Nazi.
This was the early 2000s, right? This was like white man shiny suit era.
You think we're gonna let you?
Eduardo Savard is just like a bad boy video extra in a shiny suit.
You think we're gonna let you parade around here in your ridiculous suits? Pretending like you run the place?
Yeah. Yeah. And then he goes, "Sorry, my Prada's at the cleaners."
He's the GOAT, dude.
You are probably going to be a very successful computer person. You're going to go through life thinking that girls don't like you because you're a nerd. And I want you to know from the bottom of my heart that won't be true. It'll be because you're an asshole.
I had recently been talking about The Social Network on my group text. That is the two Jakes, Jake Wolf and Jacob Gallagher. They both had been talking about this movie with me. We coincided watching it as a group. I have questions from them in a segment called The Two Jakes. First up is Gallagher. The sequel, let's say they make one. What's the opening scene?
Dude, I mean, so I read this. So like being in the tech world and obviously tech being such a thing, like I've always been interested in this stuff, kind of like in the period after this. I read this book called Chaos Monkeys, which was supposed to be like the premier expose of Zuckerberg being a fucking piece of shit up until fake news.
Okay.
It kind of centers around, or it's written by the guy who effectively invented the Facebook ad exchange, which is what completely tanked.
Right. It changed everything.
Changed everything. Right. Basically ads go to the lowest, or the highest bidder, but like it's like in nanoseconds, and it allows you to like micro target like whoever. So it basically just changed advertising.
Yep.
And Zuckerberg, so like that, and it kind of culminates, one of the big moments is Facebook's IPO. So I feel like maybe like Facebook IPOing could be like the scene of film, or like the tentpole of film, but also the fake news stuff.
Bro, that's what
2016 like.
Yeah, Chef or Chuck, do you think what the sequel could be? Do you have any idea? Or what would you want it to be? It's not a correct answer. It's just like, what do you think it would be? The opening scene.
I don't. Or hold on. Or another thing is Facebook offered to buy Snapchat for like $3 billion or something.
Yeah.
Snapchat said, "Suck our dicks." That could
they
be.
Pulled us. They zucked. You can't zuck. You can't out zuck the zuck, dude. And that's why you're fucked now.
And then Zuck went around and just copied their product and just torpedoed them. Maybe that's the film.
Yo, the day of the launch of Instagram stories, and you're seeing fucking Zuckerberg from his ivory tower, and then you see fucking flashes over to Snapchat. The house is burning down from the inside, like the dog drinking coffee meme. It's like, this is fine, and it's Evan Spiegel, and Spiegel in it, and you're like, I'm gonna lose my job,
my content. Because Spiegel would actually make for a fire villain, because he was like a rich frat dude who like sent out. I don't know if you guys ever saw the leaked emails that like Gawker posted, but he's
baby.
He's like, boys, let's get fucking blackout drunk and fuck some bitches. He was like that type of guy. And his rich daddy was just like funding the venture. And again, it started out as a fucking sexting app. Everything is just started by toxic men with their fucking little tiny dicks.
Sorry. There's some girls freshening up in there. Oh, sick, bro. Yeah. Wait. So
that showdown, those two bulls clashing.
We're gonna skip over the Groms.
You could bring
invoke the skip and Uno.
You could bring Jack in too, because they also, when Instagram launched video, like in-feed videos and stuff too, a lot of people were like, fuck, that's like a direct shot at Vine, because that's when Vine was like kind of popping off.
Twitter's Periscope got sunk by Facebook Live and IG Live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man, Zuck has had a lot of enemies, and he's made a lot of enemies. You don't get to 500 million friends without making some enemies, right? Like that's just the tagline for the fucking flick, dude. That's a great tagline on the poster. My thing, and that Gallagher and I agreed on this, would be him testifying in front of Congress. That opens up right there. Like that set the stakes. Like you thought the stakes were high. He was about to lose some money. Like this man is an enemy of the state, dog. Like,
and what is it about, like fake news? And
and I guess it could be everything. Sorkin is clearly thirsty for doing a sequel, because I think he's chasing clout a little bit. I feel like we haven't heard about him. The Molly's Game shit, I'm telling you, is huge trash. So I think
not good.
No. Well, I mean, also, if you're into his shit, I'm not. It's too much.
His HBO show was like pretty panned, right? The Newsroom.
No. That was a low. Oh, it's so bad, but it's so good.
I actually was a fan of it, but I like kind of like understood that it sucked. It was like, again, peak Sorkin, where it's just like bar, one liner.
It was the most self-masturbatory piece of content I've ever seen since Failing Upwards.
But what's his name?
It took me a while to get there, but I knew where I needed to land.
The main dude and then like the young Indian guy were both fire.
Dev Patel.
Also need to say that the guy that was playing Divya Narendra was not Indian. That was straight up fucking brown face.
But here's the problem. Here's the issue. He does a great job, and his dad is a very famous Oscar-winning director. Chef, his dad directed Oscar winner of The English Patient. So
that's fire, but that guy's still not Indian.
That's nepotism.
They should have hired an Indian guy.
Chef, that's nepotism at its finest, and I'm sorry, but that's how the world works. You got to get used to it.
That's
representation matters. If that guy had been brown, Chef might have actually pursued a career in tech.
Who knows?
I don't think he's white though, so you might be tearing down another minority. Again, I let you guys sort it out. I'm not getting involved. I can't even get involved, to be honest. So I'm gonna back off. All right, here's the other question.
The dude is definitely not Indian. Is all that matters?
Yes, very, very clear. We're all on the same page there. The second question from Wolf is just, what is your favorite bar? To James's point, there's bars all over this thing. Arguably too many bars. Chuck, what's your favorite bar?
I could take the Phoenix Club and turn it into my ping pong, whatever the line is. Turn it into my fucking ping pong. Yeah, ping pong room.
Okay, Chuck or James?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, that's hard. I mean, there's so many. I mean, it's almost like There Will Be Blood. Like there's too many to choose from.
Yeah.
Rooney Mara had the best bar in the first 10 minutes of the movie, which is you're going to go through life thinking that girls won't date you because you're an asshole, but really they're not going to date you. Or they're not going to date you because you're a computer guy, but really they're not going to date you because you're an asshole.
It's a nerd. It's a nerd versus an asshole. And then that's also the amazing bookends of the movie is that quote. And then the end with Rashida Jones, which is, why are you trying so hard? You're not an asshole. Why are you trying so hard to be? And really the question is like, which one of those statements is actually true? For me, my favorite quote, and again, to James' point, there's a ton to choose from, but I just love, you better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. Coming back for everything. And I've said that on the show before, and I always fuck it up, but that's the full thing, and it is.
So
it's so good.
There were lines where I like had thought that Sean Parker. I thought that Sean Parker was the guy that delivered. You know, it's cool. You know, like $1 million's not cool. You know, what's cool? $1 billion. But he doesn't say it. Eduardo says it. Eduardo is telling the story.
He's right. So the impact is different.
Yeah. And same with that lawyer up line. There's something where they like cut away right when he's like saying the best part of the bar or some shit, or like the first half of the bar, it's on him, and the second half he's like not on camera. I don't know. There's something where it's just like, fuck, I wish Eduardo had been just on camera the whole time saying that.
The big Sean Parker one is he's leaving the. Also, they go dumb at the sushi place like we went dummy at Carbone. Same thing with Appletinis.
Fucking Appletinis, dude. That's so whack.
Therese,
drop
lobster claw.
It's Tori.
Tori, sorry.
No, Tori. Drop the just Facebook. It's cleaner. I mean, that's the Sean Parker. That's
that's fire.
He has some in the club too. He says some ridiculous shit. The movie really
Victoria's Secret model story.
Yeah. So the Victoria's Secret model thing is kind of crazy. We talked about this on the Alyssa pod, but Sean Parker tells like the same thing about how the dude who got canceled, that's the guy Les Wexner.
Yeah.
Wexner. He bought it from the guy. That's the guy who killed himself because he fleeced him. He got like he like destroyed his whole life. So this guy not only was boys with Epstein and just got canceled, but he like has this guy's blood on his hands. Some poor entrepreneur who just wanted to like get freaky with his broad, buy some sexy ass lingerie. He didn't feel comfortable. He had to open up his own establishment. That's a small business. That's the American dream. And this guy killed his ass. It's crazy.
There was also great dialogue in the scene where Sean Parker sleeps with that girl. And he's like, oh, there's a snake in here. And she runs out. She's like, I could have been killed. And he's like, how would you have been killed?
The two lines that Dakota Johnson said in French, those are the best two lines.
Bro, that's a simp. You're so. Why are you simping over Dakota Johnson, bro?
Chef, you're too horny, bro. Chef, you're too horny.
Chef, you're simping over one of Sean Parker's many side pieces, side hoes. You know, He had the chick that when he links up at the house serendipitously, which I never understood. Does he know where they're staying, or is that really a coincidence?
That was a little. I was like, they could have done that better.
Well, I think it's Sean Parker I think the audience is like, listen, Zuckerberg is not going to get this because he's so, oh my God, it's the God, Sean Parker. But like the audience is supposed to be like, he's finessing. Because that's what Sean Parker does. He finesses, right?
But so they just waited until like the chimney crumbled and then came over?
I don't know. Maybe he had an idea of where it was and was waiting for an opportunity. Here's the thing, right? Sean Parker didn't actually invent Napster. The other guy did, Sean Manning. And what Sean Parker did was find this guy, like be like, yo, your vision is on point. I agree. Let me get the money. So he got like that initial investment. And it's what he did with Zuck too.
Dude,
so like Sean Parker is like, he's
the Steve Jobs to Steve Wozniak.
Yes, 100%. Except that Jobs is the best of all time, the best finesser, the best creative director, the best curator. That's all about brand, right? This movie is also like the Harvard email brand. Like, can you be cool? Ads are the curfew on the party. This whole movie is also about the struggle that all of us as East Coast media elites, content creators face every day. Do you chase money or do you chase cool factor? And how can you monetize cool?
Dude,
like Throwing Fits does every single fucking day.
That we do.
I would love to hear final pitchfork scores on the movie from everybody. I'll go first. For me, based on the sheer amount of notes I took versus There Will Be Blood, this score of this movie has to be mathematically 3 times greater than my There Will Be Blood score, which I think I gave it was a 10.0. So I'm going to give this a 30.0. It's the new high best score. My favorite movie of all time is The Social Network. The most impactful and important movie of a decade and arguably a generation, and how it predicted the future.
I'm going to go ahead. What did I give There Will Be Blood? I think I gave like an 8.9, 8.7.
No idea.
I'm going to give this
I have
movie,
no idea.
I'm going to give this movie a 7.8.
Ooh.
7.8. I know. It just, I cannot really empathize with any of the characters. It just does not, like, in the pantheon of cinema, it's just fucking a bunch of white dudes just like in like shitty settings, like trying to kill each other verbally. The whole time I was like, yo, why did the Winklevoss twins just go and fucking beat his ass? You know, like that's what would happen.
They alluded to that. We're gonna look the karate, chasing the Karate Kid around campus in skeleton costumes.
Yeah, he's like, I want to call my lawyers. I want to call Tony Soprano.
Oh yeah, to beat the shit out of him with a hammer. That's like the one time they curse in the whole movie.
And then my other like small gripe with this was I wasn't that satisfied with the ending, and maybe that's because like we know
it's real
that
life. What do you mean?
But maybe we know that Facebook had, like, there's such an after story. Like this was just the beginning, right? And like when this came out, it was only 5 years after the story it was telling, 4 or 5 years. But now like so much has happened. But the ending was just like kind of open ended, and to kind of like, you know, just put up like they got this settlement, they signed this NDA, like like Facebook is now worth this. To me, it was a little. I was like, oh fuck, like I wish there's more.
Yeah, I get you. Chef, final score.
I give There Will Be Blood an 8. I don't like doing I don't want to do the decimal point shit because I don't understand what that means. I would give this movie, honestly, again, also, I'm only going to rate based on personal enjoyment because I feel like that's the only thing that I have any credibility over. I'm gonna give it a 9, honestly. I like this movie, and I every time I watch it, I enjoy it. I have a good time.
If you were the inventors of menswear podcasting, you've invented menswear podcasting. You know what I'm saying? Chuck, what's your score?
I also love this movie, and I think I'm gonna give it a 9.3.
Jeez.
Well, and I will say one thing we haven't really talked about is like when I saw it in 2010, I was in high school, and I honestly thought the characters were like I thought that they were cool. Like, but now when I see it as like an adult, I'm like, these guys are a bunch of fucking nerds and like losers, and it's really like the dialogue that like makes it entertaining and like is what really holds it up. That and the soundtrack. Perfect soundtrack.
Hey, being kind is cool, okay? To everyone watching at home, all our best friends on Patreon, all this is what not to do, okay?
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool? Being nice.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Listen, dude, again, I took so many notes. There's things that are bound to get missed, like a lot of quotes. What you should mind is showing up on Monday for a race that was run on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Fairness, transparency. This is the most trans podcast in the world, bro, because, you know, we just want fairness. That's really all that we crave. You know, we'll beat anybody in a fair competition, right? I think we've proven that. All right, any famous last words? I think we had our fun with our backgrounds, with our Zoom. I don't know how we want to decide the next movie, but I'm game. I'm down for whatever.
It'll come up. I think Oldboy would be a fantastic like change of pace where it's just like thriller, action, insane twists front to back. Also just like Korean cinema.
Yeah. We switch it up on our Foster Kamer shit.
That one dude is like considered one of the best Korean actors like of all time, and it's part of a revenge trilogy.
Yes.
By the director, I forget his name, but unfortunately, it's just too hard to access. Like we want to pick movies that are like available to stream, so if people want to follow along, they can.
Yeah, there's got to be some level of fairness, and I mean, like, honestly, the Revenge trilogy, from what I understand, is one of the most significant trilogies, maybe almost only like second or third to the Hot Boys Throwing Fits trilogy with Sean Evans, and then I guess like the original Star Wars trilogy. But then you're just splitting hairs at that point. Everything is second after us and Sean, to be honest. All right.
Let's take us out.
Yeah, so no, I'm just looking to see if there's anything we missed. Really, the big thing we didn't talk about is that all these IP struggles that happen in this movie, it really made me kind of like empathize with the Winklevoss because of what we went through. Like,
it triggered you?
They stole our podcast.
It triggered you?
Yeah, it did. I mean, honestly, it's like I know those guys. Like,
we gave Barstool a 2-year head start.
Yeah,
they didn't answer any of our emails for 2 years.
I mean, like, I know that the Winklevoss, like, at the end of the day, are supposed to not be like really sympathetic at all because like they got it made. But what people don't get about, really handsome and talented jocks, smart jocks like myself, is that we're people too, and like things aren't just handed to us. Like we have to work really hard to earn what ultimately, like, yes, we do deserve, but like it's gauche to think about it that way. So that's kind of
I mean, I had no empathy for them because I was like, yo, these guys handle this shit like fucking like terribly. It's like
babies.
Your man's was MIA for 42 days and you didn't do anything.
Yeah, they got played, dude. They got finessed by one of the best of them.
You had your fucking I don't know what their positions were, but like the co-founders and the CFO, but you didn't have anyone actually building this thing, like fucking dummies.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do, man? They ended up fine.
They were too precious to get in the mud. They were too precious to dig the fucking trenches and get in the mud.
Yeah, they waited too long to do what needed to be done. And that is the difference between leaders and followers, and that is why Throwing Fits is the only podcast that matters. Chuck and Chef, any wisdom that you want to leave us with about this movie or in generally speaking?
Nah, man, it's a slap. You should watch it if you haven't.
I can't wait for the next for real. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well,
thank you all.
Thanks, guys. Well, I've lost the plot completely, so I think this is it. So thanks, guys.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
This is long. I feel like fuck.